Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Brown Baldy yet again. It's been a while, I know. Got a little busy as usual. I want to react to the new Death Battle that just came out 2 days ago. Blade versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's by DeathBattle, obviously, of course. Do not forget to go to their channel, DeathBattle, and subscribe to them, support them if you want to see more videos. They have a lot more videos that I want to get to eventually that I've missed out, over the years. But this one in particular, gotta go with Blade, obviously. I grew up with Blade, a big fan. Granted, if you think about it, I don't know much about either of them. I never really watched the old series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think it was based off an old movie, but honestly, I cannot recall too much of it. I don't know if it's a book, a novel. Who knows, honestly. I don't know much about it. At most, I just heard about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Blade, however, I know much more about it. Not too much, though, because I don't know what they're going to use, if they're going to stick to the films, to the comic books. If it's the comic books, I'm sorry, I do not know much about it. However, when it comes to the movies, big fucking fan. I'm not going to lie. Wesley Snipes, he caught the first movie against Deacon Frost, second movie, which is my favorite, by the way, Blade 2. Third one, no. But the second one is my favorite because it had one of the most badass villains ever, Jared Nomak, who was played by Luke Goss, Luke Goss is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated actors ever. I just love that guy. I love seeing him on screen. I love this character in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, where he played Prince Nuada. Just great actor, but that's a personal thing. However, in this case, I gotta go with Blade. However, knowing Death Battle, I doubt they would pair him up against Buffy the Vampire Slayer if she wasn't very formidable. So it can go either way. However, I am leaning towards Blade. That's my man. I grew up with him. He's my boy. Anyways, let's get on with the video.
Blade versus Buffy.
The Daywalker versus the Vampire Slayer.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. They are known by many names.
Oh, Alucard.
Revenant, Vortilaat, Nosferatu.
Vampires. When the moon is out and the night is young, these undead demons are out for blood.
Fitting then that the greatest foe of those who stalk the night is the one who can walk the day, Blade.
Is that really his costume?
Hang on.
Now there's a man who doesn't file his taxes. Blade is one of the coolest superheroes ever, and basically kickstarted the comic book movie craze.
And yet, he is...
Yes, I absolutely. People seem to forget that before there was anything, even X-Men, people say that's where it started off. No, I beg to differ, sir. Blade is where it originated from. He is the first official. And as far as I know, Wesley Snipes is the longest running superhero character, to play a character, all that kind of stuff. How do you call it? The second only being maybe Hugh Jackman Wolverine. But anyways.
Also seemingly the only one who knows or cares that in the world of Marvel, vampires exist. Seriously, nobody talks about this.
Blade doesn't need anyone's help. He'll just aura farm by himself.
Even Blade's birth was hard.
Background. Real name, Eric Brooks. Age, 100. Height, 6'2". Weight, 215. Species, Dampier, which is another way of saying half vampire, half human. Professional jazz trumpeter. Did I know that? Likes I Am Legend. Brio, Boy Thing. Make that new movie Marvel. Oh, stupid ass.
Hardcore. Just as the young Eric Brooks' mother was in labor, her attending doctor turned out to be the vampire Deacon Frost.
And he drank her blood right before she gave birth.
This infused Eric with Frost's vampiric blood, turning him half human, half vampire. A Dampier.
Giving him a ton of vampy powers, but none of their weaknesses like garlic, holy water, or sunlight.
Eric would hone these abilities under the tutelage of vampire hunter Jamal Afari, sharpening him into a blade that would rape the vampire plague for good.
Blade is strong and fast enough to toss around 1,000-pound demons and cut bullets out of the air. He can keep up with Wolverine, who can deflect Cyclops' light-speed optic blasts, and his Kevlar DuPont armor helped him take the top of Count Von Stadt's castle exploding.
He can heal small wounds immediately and sniff out the supernatural with his hypersenses. Also, his fangs can drain his victims of magical energies.
After studying the ways of Hong Kong Kung Fu movies, Blade became a master martial artist. Ah yes, the Rufus from...
Abilities: blood-sucking fangs, magical energy siphoning, hypersenses, immortality, regeneration, shape-shifting, didn't know that, berserk mode, martial arts, boom.
Street Fighter School of Kung Fu.
While the only martial art he's been stated to know is Krav Maga, we know he's mastered more. So for the full scope of his martial arts ability, we'll examine the Blade movies as performed by Wesley Snipes.
By looking at Snipes' training and choreography, we know Blade uses Kung Fu, Capoeira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Eskrima, Kickboxing, Shotokan Karate, and Hapkido. Add on Blade's knack for stealthy takedowns, and I guess you could call him Marvel's Batman.
Blade's training progressed smoothly until Afari was attacked and had his blood drained by Dracula. Seriously, Avengers, Dracula is real. Why aren't you doing anything about this? He's right there!
Forced to murk his surrogate dad, Blade would have to wage his war alone.
Nursing a wound within him that would never heal. A hole that could never be filled.
Not with that attitude. Blade took a...
Arsenal: blades, magical and adamantium swords, knives, stakes, throwing glaives, bladed nunchaku, body armor, countless firearms and explosives, prosthetic gun hand, anti-hypnosis goggles, flame gauntlets, edge of Antredos, breathing gun, boy thing, motorcycle. The fuck is boy thing?
Page out of the book of Boomstick and tried filling that hole.
Boy thing, it sounds messed up.
Oh, with every kind of weapon imaginable. He's got so many, they're his apartment decorations.
Handguns, assault rifles, and explosives make up the brunt of his firepower. And he enjoys getting up close and personal with his dual acid-etched titanium katanas.
Speaking of glorious Nippon steel, he's got a sword made out of adamantium.
Specifically, secondary adamantium. A variant of the metal that is mass-producible.
It may not be quite as strong as Cap's shield, but it can cut right through heavy hitters like Ultron and the Hulk.
Naturally, Blade has even more swords. His Atlantean ones can slice through magical enchantments. The Word Sword can harm intangible demons, and the Justiciar can slay fallen angels.
Yeah, he's got some weird stuff he can pull out of his ass, like a Hellfire shotgun that burns your soul, or hypodermic needles filled with vampire blood. Seems kinda dumb to turn people into vampires, but it does make them more vulnerable to Blade's arsenal.
All that pales in comparison to the arch weapon of hell in Blade's possession, the breathing gun. It is a living firearm that hisses in the presence of demonic forces. Its sentient bullets chase its victims down. The wounds they cause cannot be healed. And if they get lodged in your body, they'll slowly devour you from the inside out. They can even hurt Hell Lords and even greater threats like the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Blade took everything he had and fought his one-man war for almost 100 years.
He's battled hordes of vampires while skydiving, infiltrated the Pentagon, and even took on Spider-Man like Miles Morales, who could absorb the energy of a bomb that could destroy Harlem. Blade's even bested the spirit of vengeance, Zarathos.
And while he occasionally allied with
Feats: battled vampires for 90 years, harmed Cosmic Ghost Rider with the breathing gun, tore bodies apart with his bare hands, blocked gunfire with nunchaku, dodged Count Von Stadt's optic lasers, survived Hulk throwing him into the sky, fought a horde of killer geese with Deadpool, the fuck, defeated Dracula, Deacon Frost, Zarathos, Varney.
teams like the Avengers, he prefers to work alone.
I probably would too if they only cared about me when I was helping them and not ridding the world of, you know, vampires.
That, and Blade is scared of what he might do if he loses control, because he does have one classic vampire weakness: a thirst for blood. Blah.
Even more so after he had a daughter, Brielle, whom he avoided for fear of endangering her. If his bloodlust does overwhelm him, he will enter a berserker rage, skyrocketing his strength
Oh, yeah.
at the cost of his sanity.
Though it does make him even better at killing vamps. He's made a cottage industry out of whooping Dracula's ass.
Dracula is unsurprisingly powerful, capable of summoning a thunderstorm that covered all of Boston with a wave of his hand.
Drac apparently didn't hold a grudge though, since he eventually made Blade the sheriff of Vampirsk, a vampire nation in the ruins of Chernobyl.
Amazingly, Dracula has even given Blade some of his own blood, which allows him to shapeshift into multiple forms, like a wolf, a horde of bats, or a cloud of mist.
So he can force his way
Damn.
inside your body and blow you up from the inside out, Ant-Man style.
What is with you with the Ant-Man? Blade's hatred of vampires is only matched by his hatred of himself. However, when Brielle showed signs of vampiric powers, Blade finally found a reason to reconnect with his daughter, training her the same way Afari trained him a century prior.
Even after Blade was possessed by the first vampire ever and tried to take over the planet, Brielle put her dad's teachings to the test, saving both him and the world.
And proving that Blade's lonely war need not be so lonely anymore.
Aw.
With his daughter at his side, and also this plant creature pet called Boy Thing, let Marvel's vampires beware. For should they indulge their unnatural urges, they'll be sure to meet their end at the tip of his blade.
In every generation, there is a chosen one. She alone will stand against the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness. She is the Slayer.
For thousands of years, a new Slayer would be granted incredible powers, and was destined to die young in battle against evil, passing their powers on to the next Slayer, and the next, and so on. That is, until the newest Slayer would change everything. Buffy Ann Summers.
Not exactly the first girl you'd think.
Background. Full name, Buffy Ann Summers. Height, 5'4". Occupation, waitress, counselor, law enforcement. Love interest, Pike Angel. Angel is a vampire, if I remember correctly. They even made a whole series about him as well. Riley, Spike, Satsu. Death count, at least 2. Founder and president of the Third Magic Council. Likes ice capades. James Spader, Christian Slater, pineapple pizza. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what any of that means.
Is the savior of humanity. Buffy's only goals in life were, in her own words, graduate from high school, go to Europe, marry Christian Slater, and die.
But that would all change when the Watcher Merrick appeared and revealed her destiny.
Like, total bummer.
Merrick trained Buffy in the arts of vampire slaying, and she became so efficient that she burned down her school. Whoops.
Forcing her and her mom to move to Sunnydale, California to start a new life, far away from any more bloodsuckers and bad makeup.
Unfortunately, small problem, Sunnydale just so happened to be right on top of a hellmouth, where the boundary between Earth and Hell is permeable.
Yeah, that sounds like the valley, alright. Along with new Watcher Giles, Wallflower Willow, part-time bad boy, part-time sad boy Angel, magical retcon sister Dawn, and... Xander. Buffy and her Scooby gang would battle a never-ending series of monsters.
And we mean truly never-ending. Sure, there's the TV show, but Buffy has also been slaying vampires across video games, comics, and 128 novels. Tens of thousands of pages of Buffy lore you've never heard of.
But we're just crazy enough to speed read them all.
Buffy carries a variety of anti-vampire weaponry. There's wooden stakes, of course, sometimes
Arsenal, crossbow, knives and stakes, Morning Star, grenades, flamethrower, M136 rocket launcher, damn, Hellfire launcher, Hope's dagger, laser rifle, Olive's hammer, glove of Manigan, razor blades.
dipped in Gorgon venom that can turn you to stone. Though she's also experienced with axes, swords, quarterstaffs, holy water, just about anything.
You said it! When she fought an ancient demon unable to be killed by any weapon forged in his time, Buffy introduced his stupid ass to the 20th century.
She's also a master of Aikido, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, karate.
It kind of reminds me, that was funny. There's an old series called, what's it called? Robot Chicken. And this guy was going through the woods and a werewolf appears out of nowhere, you know, intending on killing him, and he just pulls out a regular gun, shoots him, and the werewolf's like, ha ha, you know, it'll take a lot more and whatever. Next thing you know, he pulls it on a machine gun. It's like the warrior's like, oh, you know, he's like, you know, he's feeling that, right? Like it's not killing him, but you know, he's like, okay, that's a little too overwhelming. And next thing you know, the guy just pulls out a whole minigun. And he ends up just, you know, mowing him down to nothing. He's like healed from that. It was just funny. It kind of reminds me of that, you know, when she took out the rocket launcher and, you know, killed that undead demon, whatever.
Kung Fu, Wushu, Tai Chi, Kendo, Capoeira, and Taekwondo.
Buffy apparently thinks Hong Kong's Kung Fu movie masters could learn a thing or two.
No kidding. Thanks to her Slayer senses, her reflexes are fine-tuned enough to dodge close-range Gatling gun fire, lightning bolts from the sky, and even beams of light. She's kept up with another Slayer, Faith, who can dodge laser beams from point-blank range.
Buffy's strong enough to bend rebar, punch
Damn.
his 4.5-ton bat monster into the air, and smash hard enough to tear apart a building.
And despite her lack of armor, she can survive massive explosions, like the one that destroyed Cephrilion's lair that's bigger on the inside.
She can even fight blindfolded, but if she is injured, she heals fast.
Abilities: accelerated healing, heightened senses, martial arts and weapons expertise, Cloutier's trance, Slayer mode, superhuman resistance to hypnosis and mind control, clairvoyance. Damn, that's something. Poisons and sedatives, physical possession, soul manipulation, memory manipulation.
Enough to be totally fine by the next episode.
One time, Angel sucked out almost all of the blood from her body, and she survived. Doubly impressive since Angel's blood draining also drains magical energy.
Yeah, Buffy's own magic makes her weirdly resilient to esoteric attacks, like when she expelled this misty shadow demon trying to possess her body, or when she resisted her soul being ripped apart and scattered across time.
Or that time she jumped into a vat of boiling liquid so hot it could reduce people to skeletons, and she was just fine.
She might not show physical scars, but she sure has emotional ones. Being the Slayer put a huge burden on Buffy's life.
Unable to live normally, she felt isolated, forced to internalize the trauma she faced on a daily basis. Sure, she had friends, but they couldn't understand her unique struggle.
Like when Angel turned evil after he took her virginity and tried to destroy the world. That must be one of those metaphors.
Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones you can't fight and who don't fight back.
Made even worse by her having all the memories of the other Slayers bouncing around in her head, dating back to the Stone Age.
Buffy has dreamt of every battle a Slayer has ever fought, and can call upon those skills in a fight, even subconsciously.
But this includes the memories of their deaths. Countless women violently dying young, a reminder of her inevitable fate.
A fate that came to pass when she fought the Hell God Glory. After leaping into Glory's reality-ending interdimensional hole,
A glory hole, if you will.
Buffy sacrificed
For real?
herself to save the universe, dying a hero's death.
It appears my glory hole joke was poorly timed.
Finally freed of her unfair earthly responsibilities, Buffy's soul ascended to heaven in perfect bliss. Until her friends brought her back to life in the agony of existence. This absolutely crushed Buffy and, ironically, annihilated her will to live.
Oh, that's rough, Buffy. But with the show renewed for more seasons, she had to nut up and continue her endless crusade against all things Spirit Halloween.
Buffy's battled for 48 hours straight.
Feats: destroyed the Seed of Wonder, lifted Olaf's enchanted hammer, caught the sword that sealed Akatla, survived Willow's unrestrained magic power, matched Oz's millisecond reactions, gouged out the Hell Lord's Balfagor's eye, withstood lightning from the Gatherer, defeated the Master Dracula, first evil Hell Mother.
Defeated vampires immune to traditional vampiric weaknesses, and destroyed the Sword of Sano, which caused the Great Hanshin earthquake.
And of course, both Buffy and her friends have defeated countless immensely powerful demons.
Like the Queller Demon, which arrived as a meteor and caused the Tunguska explosion, which destroyed over 2,000 square kilometers of forest. Or the Sorrow Demon, which caused a storm that blanketed Los Angeles.
She's also a match for Angel, who survived a blast that could rupture a continental shelf, and took hits from Whistler, whose magic contained a bomb that could vaporize London.
She even faced off against the First Evil, literally the embodiment of all evil that predates reality itself.
Forced into battles against stronger and stronger baddies, Buffy clearly needed something to even the odds. The, Slayer Scythe!
It's actually a bardiche.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna say it. This thing is bullshit.
Containing the essence of Buffy's Slayer powers and
Slayer Scythe, counterpart to Excalibur. Nothing counters Excalibur. Excuse me. Just kidding. Forged to kill old ones, contains the essence of Buffy Slayer's powers, cuts through magic space ghost, power absorption, reflection, redistribution, magical wards against the death, and power removal. The Scythe can conceive a child with Willow, and the novels don't ask. Yeah, I'm not gonna ask. It looks more like a goddamn axe, and the man alive looks pretty cool.
created to defeat ancient demons, the Scythe can deflect magical
It
projectiles.
looks like a. Doesn't look like a scythe. It looks like an axe, more like a halberd, like a small handheld halberd, but whatever.
And slice through just about anything. Ghosts, magic, even space itself, destabilizing reality in the process.
Even Silas, the devourer of worlds, kinda like Galactus, but instead of chomping on planets, he eats the multiverse. And there goes his head.
The Scythe is
Damn.
easily the most powerful tool in her arsenal. In effect, attaining it completed Buffy, as though it were a piece of her she never knew was missing. With the Scythe, Buffy was finally whole. Being the Slayer was no longer a burden, but a purpose.
And by sharing her Slayer powers with thousands of girls around the world, they all teamed up and kicked the first evil's ass.
Suddenly, the always isolated Buffy had thousands of shoulders to lean on, a sisterhood of Slayers.
And thousands more reasons for any wannabe demon conqueror to stay away from Earth. Because unless you want
That's
to get
nice.
your blood all over her stylish yet affordable boots, you'll steer clear of Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
Live action. Oh wow, that's quite a treat.
We were kings
Nice.
long before they had a name for kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours.
Oh hell no.
Tonight, we feast.
Daywalker.
And she, that's just the start.
Oh nice. Oh nice. I like the effects, I'm not gonna lie. Body slammer. Yeah. Oh, the light grenade. Throwback. Yo, the DJ is badass. He's like, okay, let's keep the joke. Like when everything happened, he lost his focus for a bit. He goes like, let's go with it. He starts like, with the music and shit, and then by the end of it, where he knows his time's up, he's like, okay, that was tonight's show. You gotta admire dedication. Just saying. I gotta say, Blade pretty much short-dicked her. So let's see how this fight goes, because, like I said, she definitely has a lot of abilities, but they both seem to have a lot of abilities. Her so more. She seems to have more. So let's see. It's I can't really guess who would win. I'm still leaning towards Blade, but that's just me. Uh-oh. Oh, nice.
Wait!
Nice.
Dude's just a kid!
Not anymore.
Oh, nice. Nice.
You out your damn mind?
So where you going, huh? Come on. Come on, baby, just let it happen. There we go. Oh, damn.
Amateur hour.
There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
Oh! My gun! Yo.
Another sword!
I see you cut through adamantium.
Bring it on.
I think that scythe is more powerful. Oh. Yo, I like the eyes. Plot armor. Oh. Fuck.
It's like you got ahead of yourself.
Damn.
KO! To be Blade continued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out, though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't expecting the Scythe to beat the gun, but then again, with all the stats the Scythe had,
all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding her from the inside out? Check.
Meanwhile, Blade had no way to survive, say, Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly, it just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer Sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse-devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
Not gonna lie.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
That a bitch.
Next time
Who's
on
next?
Death Battle.
Oh, Dante. Who else?
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle. Thanks.
Oh, didn't they do one before where it was Virgil versus Sarah? Main bad guy from Final Fantasy. Oh, the big fucking katana versus Virgil. But yeah. Okay, so that was Blade versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not the result I wanted, but nonetheless, that's how it is. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of knew everything went downhill the moment they introduced that special scythe of Buffy's, because I'm like, yeah. The moment they was able to cut through Blade's special gun, I'm like, yeah, it's stronger. That's it. We're done. It's a wrap. I was trying to hold on faith, but then again, faith in what you see with your eyes, it's like, damn. But either way, damn, I really wanted Blade to win. Shit. But either way, that's how it is. Sometimes you win some, you lose some. It's the name of the game. Either way, that was my reaction. Do not forget to go back to the Death Battle channel, subscribe, support them. This is your video. I am simply a reactor. If you like this reaction, if you like the results, by all means let me know. If you didn't, by all means let me know why, and as to why Blade should have won, obviously. But either way, that's it. Anyways, that was my reaction. This is your boy Brown Baldy. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and y'all take care.